there, it's Trisha Lee. I'm just here at the barn. I just wanted to share with you my experiences with rescuing horses thus far. My horse Red, who you can look at in other videos, he's the horse that I regularly ride. He was here staying with these big Clydesdales, and he's just a quarter horse, so he's about half the weight of the horses that he was with. And so those horses weren't really accepting of him. 'Cause obviously he's totally different breed than Clydesdales, so he was in a pasture with like 100 head of Clydesdales. And so they were probably very dominant over him. And so if he got to eat, he would be probably the last horse that would make his way to the bale out in the pasture. And so he was this little horse that was out behind the barn, and one of the girls went to feed him and actually got yelled at and told, "That's a meat horse. You don't be wasting my good hay on that horse." Was what the bosses had told this girl. And so basically what happens is when horses outlive their usefulness, usually because of poor maintenance or unnatural care, they are often sold off for meat. They use them mainly in dog food, I believe. And so this little horse Red was intended to go to the sale where the meat buyers get horses to make into dog food and glue. So yeah, this little horse was there, and so I talked to my boss and about buying him, and so I bought him, and he had something called muscle atrophy, which is basically malnutrition, horsey style. And so I wasn't able to ride him right away. He had to get some natural hoof care, and he had to gain quite a bit of weight. So he's in fairly decent shape now. He's still a pretty old horse, so he's not, I won't be show jumping him or participating in any rodeos with him. He's just a little pleasure horse. I actually purchased him for my son to learn how to horseback ride with, which he's not too keen on, but I sure am getting a lot of usefulness out of him. So next I decided to purchase a Clydesdale to pull a sleigh or a wagon, because my partner is allergic to horses, and so he will not go horseback riding with me, but he will be able to drive he will be able to. The plan was to have a one-horse open sleigh. So I got my horse Sunshine, who you can see in other videos, to pull a sleigh and a wagon, and so that Larry could drive some horses while I was riding. Well, I just planned on having the one horse, and then I was convinced that it might be a good idea to have a team. So I just am in the process of purchasing Sunshine's sister, who you're looking at right now. I'm gonna call her Moonbeam. So I have Red, Sunshine, and Moonbeam. Those are the three horses that so far that I've purchased to rescue and provide natural hoof care to. And with my barn, initially I had thought that it was going to be a good idea to build a barn and have it as a money-making endeavor, kind of like what Dennis has here. But after my experience of being here and seeing how a lot of the owners treat their horses and how they actually treat the staff that are caring for their horses, and just they tend to do a fair amount of complaining and stuff, usually with good reason, but some of the owners aren't so diplomatic about expressing their complaints. And really the complaint should be directed to our boss, not to us. But anyway, that's kind of besides the point. The point was is that I soon realized that I do not want to run a barn with where I'm caring for a bunch of other people's horses, where they're coming in making demands and complaints, etc., etc. So I kind of revamped my goal and my plan. What I want to have is I want to have a riding facility with trail rides, and strictly for beginners, for people that don't have experience with horses, that haven't been riding and stuff. So I intend to fill my stable with rescue animals. So I'm just going to go seeking out more and more horses like Red that have been neglected or been declared lame, that I can bring back to soundness and allow beginners to come and ride out at my place. It's truly a much, much better plan, I think, for me to have strictly rescue horses that I am in total and utter control of their maintenance and care. Because I could just see having customers bringing in farriers and saying, hey, we're going to pound some nails into this horse's hooves, and it would be like, okay, you need to leave my barn right now, and that could just cause a lot of controversy and headaches that I do not want to have. So all the horses that will be out at my farm will be owned by me, and maybe a few close friends and stuff like that can have animals there, as long as they're very, very, very in line with my ideas about natural horse care. It's really kind of frustrating being here at times. I love the fact that I get to be here and be around these animals, and that I'm getting the opportunity to rescue some of them from what I see as deplorable care. As far as stalling and horseshoes, etc., etc. I could go on for hours about how bad it is. You can read a lot of my blog posts. You can look at Jamie Jackson and Pete Ramey and what they do and believe. And I'm just so grateful that unlike Pete and Jamie, that I came to this information before I ever got my hands on one of these magnificent animals, because both of those two guys who are doing amazing work now, they actually both had the experience of pounding nails into hooves for quite some time before they made the discoveries that I was lucky enough to come across before I got my hands on these animals. So yes, I never have, and I never will pound a nail into a horse hoof. That is the stupidest thing that I think anyone could do. There's thousands and thousands of veterinarians and farriers that will not want to hear this. They're obviously going to think I'm the biggest idiot in the world who has no idea what I'm talking about. But if they were to just search out some of the books and resources that I have found, especially Pete Ramey's website, Hoof Rehab, and Jamie Jackson's Natural Hoof Care Practitioner course, along with all its books and valuable information, I don't know that those vets and farriers would change their minds if they were provided the information, but you would hope that common sense will eventually prevail, and that these vet and farrier industry will finally realize that what they're doing is the wrong. Well, I don't like to call people wrong, but it is far too evasive for these animals. What these animals really need is a much, much more gentler approach to their care. Really, you want to mimic their natural environment that they would have out in the wild. And fortunately enough, we've had people study the wild horses and to see that they have much longer and better lives, and that people should really, really start paying attention to what's best for the animal. It's great to be able to have a horse that you only have to see once a month, and when you show up you can just catch it and ride it immediately because people are working with it every day. But in the long run, you're going to lose that animal. And if you come to the education that I've been receiving, you're going to have a lot of guilt. These animals are like pets to a lot of the owners. I know to me, I love all of them, especially the ones that I'm working with, and I want to see them have the best of care. And I'm very excited to be taking at least some of these magnificent animals away from this environment and subjecting them to a much more natural way of life. It's difficult though. There's a lot of needs that these animals have that the average person can have a really difficult time providing. For example, each horse should have at least 100 acres of pasture, which I don't have, but I plan on getting it. And like even Dennis, he has more than enough acreage to provide for his horses. However, a lot of his land is put into crops. So in the wintertime, almost all of his horses get a very generous pasture. But in the summertime, it's a little more challenging because he has to utilize a lot of the land for farming purposes. And so some of the horses end up in smaller pens like the one I'm in that are not really conducive to their natural environment. So I guess it's probably boring listening to me talk, looking at my horse's butt for this long, so I should probably end this video there. But I'm just really excited to be on a mission rescuing animals, and not just horses. I feel a kindred spirit to horses, and I definitely think that they've been vastly more abused than any other animals out there. But I want to rescue all kinds of animals, any animals that are suffering or that have people that are unable to care for them for financial reasons or health reasons or whatever it may be. I'm very excited to be able to rescue animals all over and bring them back to good health with proper natural care. So yeah, if you're able to, if you have horses, if you know someone who has horses, please share this information with them. Let them know about Pete Ramey and Jamie Jackson's vast resources to give horses natural care. Anyone who owns one of these animals, I'm sure, is madly in love with it as I am and wants to see what's best for it. But sometimes we can't do the best for even people, but for animals because of a lack of education and knowledge. And so I hope you'll find my video series on and blog posts on natural horse care informative and enlightening. So I guess that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching.